Welcome back, C3 friends and fam. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of C3 Crypto Conversation and Charts. So today we're going to be talking about this beautiful sea of green we got on this screen right now. We're going to be going over a couple of recent news articles revolving the global markets, what Powell told Congress, and some of the latest news in cryptocurrency like the Dogecoin community and what EU is doing to take measures against cryptocurrency. We're also going to go ahead and break down a little bit of what's good with the Shibaverse and Metaverse. So stay tuned if you're in for the play to earn. And let's go ahead and jump right in and talk about this delicious screen of green. So what we're looking at is we're looking at Coin360 on the 7-day performance blocks on market cap. And look at all of this green. As you can see, Bitcoin's up 16% for the week. But let's go ahead and see where the market or where the money is going in and out. So we're going to come over here to volume. You can see the proportions change a little bit more than you would anticipate. So now we've left it being proportionate to market cap, and we're looking at it proportionate to volume. So as you can see, there's a lot of money going into Luna still and Solana. So it's good to see some of our blue chips and some of our favorite top projects starting to perform again. Bitcoin is doing well, Ethereum is doing well, but unfortunately we are still at some pretty critical levels of resistance. So let's go ahead and talk about what that means in a minute, but we're going to go ahead and look at all of the markets. So you can see our traditional and legacy markets are doing fantastic as well. Money is going in. This is a good sign across the board, at least temporarily and for the short term. This is also kind of on the recent news that Powell has released about we will be seeing an increase in interest rates. So that will be discussed in an article in just a minute. But it's interesting to see how the markets have been pumping in correlation to that news. So anyways, let's go ahead and look at CoinGecko for the overall on the top 100. So we can see CoinGecko, our top performers are Waves, which is up to 1829, up 94% on the week. Anchor Protocol is up 58.5% at 454. Lunaterra is up 54.6% at 9242. Thorchain or Rune is up 52.7% on the week at 536, and Juno is up 39.6% at 43.99. So doing pretty well. Some of our favorites and just top 100 going from 1 to 10. You can see Bitcoin's up 17% on the week. Ethereum's up 13% on the week. BNB's up 11% at 407. You can see Lunaterra. Solana's up 15.9% at 98.87. Cardano is currently up 7.2% on the week at 93 cents. And also Polkadot's up 13.8% at 18.25. Dogecoin, a project that we'll be talking about as well, is up 3.4%. They just did a great donation to Ukraine. So let's go ahead and slide into our news. You can see global markets, stocks fall, ruble dives as Russia sanctions hit world markets. On U.S. news, Putin invasion of Ukraine throws global markets and economy into uncharted waters. On Washington Post, global markets shudder over Russian sanctions. On CNBC, Russian markets close slightly lower as new sanctions imposed on Russia. Banks fall 4.4%. So it's not a pretty picture for traditional banks right now. The news is looking a little bit bearish. I'll be interested to see how these markets are going to react, and that's why we are very cautious at these resistance lines. Let's take a look at what other news we have going on. So at U.S. news, you can see Powell tells Congress that feds will raise rates this month. So this is by Associated Press, published on March 2nd at 12:45. Jerome Powell said that he supports a traditional quarter-point increase in Federal Reserve benchmark short-term interest rate when the Fed meets later this month, rather than larger increase that some of the policymakers have proposed. So he's already acknowledged that they do intend to raise rates with on, I believe, March 15th. And so he's inclined to propose a quarter-point rate hike to fight the acceleration of inflation that has engulfed the economy in recent months. Powell told the House Financial Service Committee on the first 2 days of the semi-annual testimony to Congress. So they had mentioned that after talking about this, the stock market rose in response to Powell's support of a similar increase to the S&P 500, jumped 1.7 in midday trading. This is also talked about. If that doesn't seem to mitigate what's going on, Powell is betting that the unemployment rate will lower at 4% and consumer spending solid. The economy can withstand modestly higher borrowing costs. Powell acknowledged that consumer price increase have jumped far above the Fed's target of 2%. Inflation hit 7.5% in January compared with a year earlier. At that, higher prices had persisted longer than expected. We understand that high inflation imposes significant hardship, especially on those least able to meet the higher cost of essentials like food, housing, and transportation, the Fed chair said. So we'll see an initial height rate. Most likely we'll see multiple throughout this year. The first one will be on the 15th. Historically speaking, it's generally not the first rates height, my apologies, raised rate that creates a bear market or a sell-off. It generally happens after a few, so we can talk about that historically, but we'll go ahead and move on to what else is in the news. You can see CNBC, Powell notes highly uncertain Ukraine impact, but says rate hikes are still coming. So in this article published Wednesday today by Jeff Cox on CNBC.com, he discusses pretty clearly. I should have highlighted this. The observations come amid 40-year high for inflations in the U.S. complicated by Ukraine war that has driven oil prices to around their highest levels in a decade. Consumer prices increased 7.5% from a year ago in January, and the Fed's preferred inflation gauge showed its strongest 12-month gain since 1983. So we will use our policy tools as appropriated to prevent higher inflation from becoming entrenched while promoting a sustainable expansion and strong labor market. We have phased out our net purchases with inflation well above 2% and strong labor market. We will expect to appropriate the raise to target range for the federal funds rate at our meeting later this month. Inflation still expected to fall. They also discussed in the article that the markets have fully priced in a rate increase at the March 15th to 16th meeting, but have decreased expectations for the rest of the year since the Ukraine war began, according to CME Group data. Traders are now pricing in 5/4 percentage point increases that would take the benchmark federal fund rates from its current range of 0 to 0.25% to 1.25 to 1.5%. So that's kind of what's anticipated right now. That is very relevant to us in our markets. Let's go ahead and go straight into crypto. What is going on with crypto? Let's look at the newest news with crypto. Customers demand prompts with Charles Schwab's file for crypto economy ETF. So Schwab's crypto ETF would buy into stocks on its crypto economy index to give investors indirect access to digital assets by investing in businesses that deal with crypto. SEC investigating NFT market over potential securities violation. So they're looking at the SEC for conducting illegal activity, a new wave of regulatory action against unregistered securities. Also, Hong Kong listed Huobi Tech launches cryptocurrency OTC services, and Dogecoin community donates $53,000 to Ukraine as country hints at upcoming airdrop. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. This was a pretty interesting article. Dogecoin itself is generally used for small transactions, but we are caring and a passionate bunch, says Billy Marcus, who said he sent funds to Ukraine. Dogecoin folks aren't usually rich, and Dogecoin itself is generally used for small transactions, but we are a caring bunch of people. My apologies. Those who want to help will offer what they can. So Federo's message on Twitter called for Doge proponents, including Tesla CEO Elon Musk and Dogecoin founder Billy Marcus, to donate to Ukraine's military and save lives from Russian invaders. According to the blockchain records, the provided wallet addresses has received more than 397,000 Doge from 607 transactions. That's roughly $53,000 at the time of publication. So it's really, really cool to see crypto being used as a way to fight sanctions and also to support the sides that need. It seems like crypto is great for the oppressed and bad for the oppressor, and it seems to be that way across the board. It was great to see this. The airdrop did confirm snapshots will be taken tomorrow on March 3rd. So let's go ahead and keep moving on. What is the EU doing taking measures against Russia using crypto to bypass sanctions. So it looks like regulations is on its way to the crypto world. That is good and bad. That is bad for the people that are all about decentralized. That is good for those of us that are ready for adoption, because there's no way this will be adopted without regulation. As you can see here, the EU says we are taking measures in particular on cryptocurrencies or crypto assets, which should not be used to circumvent the financial sanctions. We will be taking stock on a daily basis with regards to the implementation of these sanctions, their effectiveness, and any additional measures which may be needed. When it comes to economic and financial sanctions, we want to remain flexible and mobilized. Experts reject concerns Russia will use crypto to bypass sanctions totally and unfounded. Following the meeting, the European Union announced that it had decided to remove 7 Russian banks from the SWIFT cross-border payment system, which will take effect within 10 days. But the European Central Bank president called on EU lawmakers to approve a regulatory framework on crypto, hinting at potentially preventing Russia from getting around sanctions. In the US, there has begun a similar regulatory push from lawmakers to allow the country to benefit from digital assets rather than the world's despots, terrorists, and money launderers. So let's go ahead and see what US lawmakers are doing about that. So over here, you can see on Cointelegraph, the U.S. lawmakers and Fed chair push for crypto regulations in wake of Russia sanctions. Well, Jerome Powell said the situation with Russia underscores the need for really congressional action on digital finance, including cryptocurrency. He goes on later to discuss that there isn't in place the kind of regulation framework that needs to be in there. What's needed is framework, in particular ways to prevent these unbacked cryptocurrencies from serving as vehicles for terrorist financing and just general criminal behavior, tax avoidance, and the like. So Powell's also pro-regulation, and I would anticipate that we're going to have a lot of regulation coming in, and that news may be what triggers some sort of capitulation when we have rates hikes and regulation and possible recession and geopolitical tension and wartime. That is a perfect storm for some serious volatility. And I think that we should all be prepared for that. We're all hoping that Bitcoin gets adopted as digital gold, but there is no clear sign yet. And we are just hanging in there. All of this news we are bringing to you to really reiterate that. So it is. Let's go back to the article. Powell goes ahead and continues on with, it is time. In fact, it is past time for all of us to lead on creating a regulatory environment in which we, rather than the world's despots, terrorists. Oh, my apologies. We already went over that. So he continues on to say, there are growing concerns that Russia may use cryptocurrencies to circumvent the broad new sanctions it faces from the Biden administration and foreign governments in response to its invasion of Ukraine. This could include the use of dark web marketplaces that are powered by cryptocurrencies to move funds and conduct transactions, the use of crypto wallets and mixing services that allow sanctioned entities to transfer and hide their wealth, deployment of digital ruble that would allow Russia to conduct foreign trade without converting their currency into dollars. So we will find regulation coming in. This is a great opportunity for them to develop what's necessary. And I think it's actually bullish in the long run for all cryptocurrency. Speaking of bullish, let's go into a bullish article. This is on Cointelegraph as well. DCG announces $250 million share repurchase for Grayscale projects. So Grayscale parent digital currency group, better known as DCG, announced that it intends to repurchase up to $250 million in shares for various Grayscale investment products. So they currently were in Litecoin Trust, Horizon Trust, Zcash Trust, and other Grayscale products. I would anticipate that they will be repurchasing similar projects. The inflows, my apologies. In the article, it says they will be introducing as Cointelegraph reported, DCG first announced plans to purchase shares of its Grayscale products in March of 2021, allocating up to $250 million towards the flagship Grayscale Bitcoin, or also known GBTC. The previous share repurchase announcement, Wednesday statement, didn't specify the reasoning behind the latest buyback. Grayscale is the world's largest crypto asset manager with nearly $27 billion in assets under management, according to the latest data. The value of Grayscale holdings has declined from peak of around $43.6 billion in November, reflecting a sharp pullback in the price of Bitcoin and the broader cryptocurrency market. So pretty bullish to see that they will be introducing some money back in. Excited to see how that affects us. Wanted to bring that article to you guys, but enough of that. Let's go ahead and pull up some charts. I don't know why my charts are not pulling up. This is fun. My apologies. It is pulling up on the wrong screen. Let's drag her up. So on the charts, what we have is we are looking at total market cap, and this is still under $2 trillion. We've been discussing on this channel that is not really the best look for us and still considered heavy resistance. So as far as I'm concerned, we are still in a bearish trend and still worried about downward movement, especially violently. After we see $7,000 candles moving in the upward direction, we can anticipate downward movement. Also, we can see that we are at the bottom of our channel. I would like to see us show support, but we could fall as low as $1.6, $1.5 trillion and still be in this channel. That's something I would anticipate, as well as a possible capitulation. So let's go ahead and look at Total 3. Total 3 currently is at $703 billion. My apologies on the charts. They're on the wrong screen. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. We are still definitely in our descending wedge, and it's still in a bearish channel. As you can see right here, we've been in this bear channel since November of last year and continuing to stay very loyal to it. Let's go ahead and zoom in right here. And we can see we currently just got rejected on the top of this channel. We're on 10-day candles. We can even go down to some shorter time frames. So let's look at 3-day candles. And it looks like we're getting ready to retest. Oh my, let's looks like we're getting ready to retest the top of our channel right here. And I would anticipate that we will get rejected up there over the next couple of days. There's about 1 day and 20 hours left. Market SiFu anticipates upward movement. So I think that if you're looking for swing trades, this would be a safe day or two, if not 3 days. But the market could be turning around tomorrow afternoon or going into this weekend. Let's go ahead and look at the dollar. The dollar has been showing quite a bit of strength on the longer time frames. We've seen some slowdown to that in the shorter time frames. So right now we're looking at the dollar on the 1-day candles, and it's at 97.46. As you can see, it has just been pumping. In November, we were as low as 93.51. So it has gone up since the market in crypto has gone down approximately 4.5%. So that's actually not good for crypto, especially as this is broken out of its channel and is now currently using its channel as support. So I would anticipate if the dollar continues to strengthen, crypto might be more volatile than anticipated. Let's go ahead and look at the dollar yen chart. So this is the US dollar paired to the Japanese yen. And this chart has been pumping the last few days as well. We've been pumping since January 18th. And it's been a great trade for those of you that are Forex traders and in traditional stocks. As you can see, this is a great asset to pay attention to because as it pumps, typically crypto drops down. So I've been watching this chart as well. It looks like it's continuing to stay on a healthy formation. We can go ahead and draw a trend line from January of this year and see that we are still on quite the uptrend without showing any signs of potential weakness in the future. Let's talk about everyone's favorite. We got Bitcoin pulled up right here. Now that we're looking at Bitcoin, we want to talk about what is going on. Where is it headed? This is really all most people care about. Well, what you can see is a little bit of anticipated colors going on over here. And this was our worst case scenario that I wanted to play out for people if they did try to do a liquidity grab down here. I want to pay attention to what happens, though, when you see trend reversals. You normally get these big wicks. They break out and then they come back and take those before the next breakout. So we can go back and look here, and that's what happened back here in 2019. We had a breakout. We came back and retook that box of liquidity. And let me make this clear for you guys so we can see what we're talking about. You have this reclaim of liquidity. and it happens from this rip up candle, and they come and they take it back. So these traders were waiting for a retest. It never retested, but eventually came back, grabbed the liquidity before it went ahead and made its terror out. So after grabbing that pool of liquidity, it went and did a 962% pump. So that's what we're looking for. That's what I anticipate. I feel like the perfect storm's around the corner. I'm not being bought by the news. I want people to stay aware of that. The news is meant to drive things. It's normally factored into the market by the time you've heard it. So that's also something to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and look at the dollar right now. The dollar has been looking like it's getting possibly rejected on the longer time frames. But remember, guys, we're looking at 10-day candles. And these are our indicators. Market SiFu. Market SiFu just gave us a 15 under a -5. That is very bullish print. Give us a buy dot right here. Our VWAP is up. Our RSI and MFI is up and crossing up. Our EMA bands have all transitioned up. This would be fantastic if we were looking at Bitcoin. We are not. We are looking at the dollar. So please be cautious going into things. Be aware of what you're doing. Know that we are at heavy resistance, and the market did a very violent pump to get to the resistance. So go in there with open eyes. You can also see gold has been pumping as well. We'd like to look at gold on the one-day charts. It's currently sitting at 1927, but it has been looking more and more bullish. On the shorter time frame, it currently looks like gold's getting ready to do a little bit of a consolidation, maybe give people some entries, but on the longer time frames, it has been looking fantastic. So gold looks like it's a little bit less volatile and a little bit safer, at least in people's opinions right now. And that's just something to pay attention to. Anyways, that's a lot of charts. It's a lot of news. I think it's time to slide it over to SiFu, and let's talk about the Shibaverse. What's good in the meta world?
Hey, what's up, Al? Indeed, let's check out what is good in the meta world. So, get my screen up here. There we go. All right, guys. So, let me just bear with me 1 second here. Okay. So, all right, back on the charts again. Well, in the NFT world, oh, bear with me again for 1 second. It's up now, right? I don't know what just happened there. Okay. In any case, yeah, in the NFT world, we are just slightly up today. It's been overall positive, along with the rest of the charts recently, but we're sitting at looks like 35.5 billion for the NFT market cap. And you can see we have, a bit of health going on. Things are moving, I'd say, a little bit sideways, but more definitely on the healthy note. But we never know, is this it? Is this as far as it's going to climb right now? But as we actually scroll down, we can see it's pretty decent looking chart as far as red compared to green. We have a lot of just a lot happier looking projects today, obviously. Um, so yeah, we're waiting to see what's really going to keep pumping. But as we scroll down, we're going to go check out our trenders, and we're going to check out this guy right here, Shibaverse. So we're going to click in. They're actually very new on the scene. Never know what's going to happen with something this new, especially with, what's going into it. The trading volume is very low. It's only at, 90,000. However, it has had some significant movement, and anyone who follows Shiba Inu knows there's just kind of a lot that those guys have been around for a while now, and I guess there's a lot of other things coming together with that. So let's actually go ahead and check them out. It's a pretty interesting project, just another big metaverse project. Um, but let's see what there. What is the Shibaverse? Shibaverse is a metaverse in a Shiba City. Shiba City is its capital. Shiba City will have its beginning starting with the Genesis District, the most prestigious district in the whole city, situated by the sea coast. And if you've already if you've already purchased Shiba NFTs, or got in on this, for anyone who knows, those are what are going to inhabit this whole Shibaverse. And the first round of all those will just be everyone who has those and inhabits it. And if you have like a male and a female Shib, you can breed those. And from then on, that's how the Shibaverse is filled, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, there's been a lot. So this is big. This is going to add to the whole Shiba community. I guess this is maybe what's been happening behind the scenes there. But as we go into it more, so having your Shiba Inu NFT will enable you to participate in different Shibaverse features. Among others, you can participate in community events, game challenges, taking payable jobs regarding development of the metaverse or their metaverse. Also, if you are a parent, you can take part with your child in a Shiba Academy educational track. So it seems like they're trying to offer a lot here, not just people that are metaverse heavy because of like gaming or crypto necessarily. But each Shiba Inu will be unique. It will have its own combination of appearance, skills, strengths, and weaknesses, kind of typical NFT. But it will grow with your engagement and learn new skills. And it will also, I guess, need to be tended to as well. And you can own many Shibas, and if you own a male and a female Shiba, they can reproduce NFT Shiba puppies. They will inherit their parents' characteristics randomly, and as time will pass, they also may have offspring. The differences will make some puppies more valuable at market than others, as some may be more efficient in play to earn competitions. So they want to have a wide variety of, with the breeding program and the way you're adding to your metaverse. So I guess, yeah, some will be more for play to earn games. Some will be just worthy of putting on a marketplace right away and maybe turning a profit. Um, but yeah, you get real estate where obviously you can buy, sell, and lend, which that has, its whole form of smart contracts added into it. Have your own puppies that will earn for you. It's um, pretty big scope they're going for here, which is pretty interesting. I think it's going to connect to a lot of games too, and like they have a Shiba game that's going to come out along with it. But all these will be upgradable and skill boosting, for to add to your create and sell features. As we check out the main features that is within their scope or their roadmap, you got your NFT marketplace, play to earn gaming, VR experience. Verse token. Verse is their token that you will need to basically do everything within their verse. They're going to have virtual shops, freelance job opportunities. So that'll be interesting to see what that comes with. It's true legit jobs where you can perhaps make a living. Obviously, DeFi tools utilizing their ecosystem. Um, yeah, so they have a lot going on for them. So granted, they are very new. Um, they have a pretty cool, interesting breakdown of their token supply and distribution. So, they have a billion total supply, initially circulating 800 million, and then the other 200 million is reserved for the Shiba ecosystem users, which kind of breaks down into the 80% going into their decentralized exchange liquidity pool, and then another 20% reserved for, I guess that'll be distributed through airdrops. So yeah, it's very oriented to keep everyone incentivized and, maybe even without doing much to receive rewards. But quite simply, you get your Shiba NFT, take part in their competitions, wait for special edition sales. The top Shiba NFT holders, will be privy into the real estate, or the top 100 holders actually, which is obviously you want to get into real estate if you're getting into any of these metaverses. And then what's cool is even if you don't actually get in on the first 100 and you signed up for that and you deposited the ETH and you follow the instructions here on the page that it says, even if you bought at least zero point zero 0.05 ETH worth of Verse tokens and you are not among top 100 holders or liquidity providers during the snapshot, we still have something for you. So once again, they're just trying to incentivize and make sure everyone gets something that feels of value. And their roadmap is actually just lays out obviously everything going on, but it's still really early. As you can see, it started in Q3 2021, and yeah, so most of what's they have planned is to come out this year. And here we got a little bit on them, the founders, which are all cool. They all seem to have very solid education behind their particular parts in the business. The founders got a master degree in telecommunication, the architecture. It's gone to Europe's University of Technology. And then, the business person is very versed in business and marketing. All look like very good European educations. And yeah, it's pretty cool. They actually, if you want to get on there, they're actually asking for donations. Even they're very early, but they're, like I said, very ambitious in their project. And yeah, it's had quite a pump and it's trending. So, speaking of things trending, let's jump out of here. That's enough on the Shibaverse. Let's go check out. So, Doge is actually, they're seeming to have some sort of movement going along with Shiba. I don't want to say like they're direct partners or anything like that, but I know that AMC, I believe on March 18th or 19th, basically, a little more than halfway through the month, AMC is supposed to accept Shiba and Doge as payments, in the theaters and stuff like that. And we have a link for this right here. I just wanted to throw that up there. Anyone interested? This link takes you to pretty much everything happening with Doge right now, as far as price analysis, predictions on that, the retracements they're looking at, the resistance points happening. Um, you can just see what their current history has been, basically just the whole outlook on it, and just any upcoming news and partnerships. And obviously, Mr. Elon Musk, has from the beginning just been a fan of Doge simply on the fact that he likes dogs and, meme things like that, meme coins. But this has a lot of interesting information. This will break down everything Doge. There's way too many articles for me to want to just get in and try to read for you guys. I figure you can do that yourself and pinpoint exactly where you want. But keep your eye out. There is movement with that, and being Shibaverse and Doge for some reason are being accepted on AMC. Shibaverse is trending. Yeah, interesting movement happening there. But I'm not going to go too deep into that. We're going to end this off just by checking out our actual NFT collections, outside the play to earn games. Let's just go into the actual digital art. And you can see on the numbers here, although the market cap is down just over 20%, the sales volume hasn't seemed to slow down too drastically. It's up 62%, and just the total sales in general, nothing crazy, but it's just under 2.5% there. So there's definitely, despite any market movement and any news happening, a lot going on its own in the NFT world as far as digital collections go. And as we take a prime example right here, Genesis Star Sharks Mystery Box, whatever this collection is, they're up 1,300%. So those guys are doing pretty good, and that's just a basic example. And if we actually come in here, check out some of the upcoming sales. Um, for anyone interested, yeah, we're only 4 hours off of the Solana blocks. just trippy things. 7 hours off of these candy friends, teen ape gang mutants. The ape seems to be the trending thing, but only 8 hours off of that, and they have all their listed prices. So yeah, it's you click right in and get in on that. These are going to be the lowest that any of these will ever be, and they do seem to appreciate in value. And most of these upcoming projects all actually look pretty decent, pretty nice artwork for the most part. And yeah, you get the right project, and then if you bought into this and you're seeing it up 1,300%, most likely whoever purchased these is looking at a nice appreciating asset. And if you are, that'd just be another nice assurance for, not depending on the market itself in general. But I'm not gonna bore you guys too much with that. We're gonna have a lot more to come with all this. And I'm gonna go ahead and close it off right there for the most part. But yeah, everybody keep your eyes open. NFT marketplace, there's always things happening as well. And if there's any hidden gems, I'll try to point them out, and whether it's digital or play to earn. And let's go ahead and see what Mr. Al's got for us.
Thank you, SiFu. Appreciate that, my dude. I think I'm going to close this off with a little roller coaster ride. So I wanted to bring up a bear chart. And for those of you listening, we're looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hour candles, and it's a little wavy chart of a roller coaster. And as you can see, December of last year, so this is pretty much what this year has looked like so far. As you can see, we dropped down, we panic at this in January, the end of January, all the way down to 34,000. What happens? Well, February 2nd, we claim all of that liquidity back up. So within less than 2 weeks, we recover that candle. We pump up, and then we have another panic sellout in February 14th, drops us all the way down to February 23rd. We just experienced another one of these euphoric pumps, and everyone's excited that the bull run's here. But just look back here. It's the same pump that happened February 3rd. We moved up, and then we came back and reclaimed that liquidity. So now that we can see that a little bit more clearly, let's take a look at what this really looks like. Right here, this is a big box of liquidity. This is what I would anticipate they're looking at and salivating over, thinking that if they could tap this one more time before going up, boy, would they make some money. And so from a market maker's mentality, that's what I'm looking at, and that's what I'm anticipating. So as we're on these 4-hour candles, what do our indicators really tell us? Well, what they tell us right now is they tell us that we should anticipate a little bit of downward movement, and I would anticipate some sort of retest of at least 42K, most likely in the 41,000 range. Now, I would like to see us find support there, but I would not be surprised to watch us fall down to the bottom of this box of liquidity to the 38.2 range. So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm watching. We have this trend line that we could fall to 39.3 and still be on some sort of a positive trend line. That would be bullish for us to play out. But how we recover on this consolidation will really dictate to us what exactly is happening. Are we doing a rise, retest, rise level 1, retest level 2, or are we pulling off an M formation where we will go ahead and drop all the way back down to the beginning? So that's what I want to leave you guys with. Stay cautious, stay aware. It looks like this is just really interesting times. We're always one news story away from the market being driven in one direction or another. So very volatile times. Just be aware that you are in a volatile market playing with a volatile asset, and make sure that you gather as many opinions as possible as you're crafting your own. Just take ours as one of those. So not financial advice. Hope you guys enjoyed. We're going to be trying to get back into this. As you can see, we're going to be drifting away from live at 5, moving into just crypto conversation and charts. We'll be trying to have a live publication on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. But some of the days we will just be releasing a post recorded video if we're unable to do so. So hang in there with us. We're trying to develop this for you. Much love, much appreciation, and I hope you guys enjoy your week. We'll see you guys on Friday. C3 over and out.